Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Power Sessions with Natasha. We're back with another video. I hope you're all doing well. As you can see from the title, we are talking about family. Family is the fundamental foundation of any nation that we need to build. And we need to stress the importance of this if we're going to build strong families and strengthen our community into having Africa that works for us. We need to reverse the legacy and the history that deliberately set to destroy our family structures as African people, both on the continent and in the diaspora. We all know that this was a divisive plan. The number of children who grow up with absent but living fathers or mothers, we have to reverse this, as building a nation starts with what? Strong families. The absence of strong family structures leads to social devastation and fragmentation, and all too often, children and women are the ones that bear the brunt. And this was something that our ancestors did not practice. These are things that were brought upon our people. But in modern day society, we've got to reverse it. We need to be at the forefront of encouraging ourselves as African people to play our part in building strong families. We need to be unified, promote the unity and the social support for each other. We must enhance ourselves, how we view ourselves in a positive way, because that is the only way we're going to bring stronger families and communities to strengthen the social fabric of our society. That social fabric is what covers us. It's what protects us. The slave and colonialist system forced black families to live apart. Men were sold or had to travel long distances to find work as cheap laborers. This labor system saw men leaving their wives and children for months, years, and we know for some of our children taken from the African continent, it meant never ever reuniting or seeing each other. Racial inequality plays another part. It caused economic circumstances that were unfair, that pushed men and women to seek employment in faraway places, even countries, just to feed their children. As a result, the children have suffered and have often been left behind and taken care of by grandparents or extended families, mostly headed by females. This are not the traditions of our ancestors. These are not the way our ancestors lived. The unnatural arrangement has put a severe strain of the role of parents as protectors, because yes, if you're a parent, you're a protector. And what has it done? It's weakened the ability to tighten the bonds with our children. This toxic mix has seen entire generations of young African people growing up without the constant love, attention, support, and guidance which all children crave and need to feel their real, full potential. What else does this cause? Children miss stimulation. That's early childhood development. And you know what? This makes it a very critical situation in setting the foundation for their long life learning, behavior, lifestyle. Without a parent being constant in children's lives, children are economically, educationally, emotionally disadvantaged. And guess what? They grow into adults. We came from a place where we were broken into and shattered into pieces as families, and now it's become part of our lives. However, there was a time, and this still exists in some parts of the motherland and in the diaspora with some families, when we were a real community. We often say it to ourselves and to each other, it takes a village to raise a child. Those kind of philosophies are necessary for us to make this community a reality. The old Africa was never overflowing with drugs and drug addicts and alcoholics. Relationships were well defined and harmonious and stable. Children honored their parents and parents loved their children. The land was filled with what? Peace and goodwill. Men didn't beat their wives because they knew that the African woman, the black woman, was God. We as a people, if you've done your history and done your homework, you know that our gods in Africa did not in any way divide the world by gender, race, or a chosen people who were superior or inferior. There was no one group or gender to the other. They would never do this. However, patriarchy and racism took hold, introduced to us by the white man, because he came to what? Improve things. Unlike the African empires, you must know the European empires were not built on principles in harmony with the laws of life of the universe. Our ancestors obviously were in tune with the universe, within and without, and yet apparently that was a flaw. It amazes me. We need families that have the mentality that Africa needs to rise up. We need couples with that mentality to have children and raise more people who view Africa that way. For Africa to succeed, the mentality of our people has got to change, and that mentality is present day and future has got to be changed and molded into Africa for Africans. We need to marry and be with people who think this way, because the future starts now. The future relies on us having bonds with people who think of Africa this way. If you are not for this, we are not talking to you. If you don't love the African man and you don't love the African woman, this is not for you. We are not talking to you. We are talking to people who know what it's going to take for us to take Africa and have Africa rising. Today in Africa, the African woman remains a powerful figure, the essence of being and existence. A man is not considered a man without a woman on his side in Africa. A home without a woman in Africa is often looked down upon and ridiculed, and is actually considered as an unblessed home. Children, they are a huge exaltation in African society. When a child is going to be born into a family, families feel blessed. Divorce was never allowed in African society. Even now, there are still people and places that do not believe in divorce, because what? We believe that marriage was God's wish. You cannot put aside what God has put together. Families are going to be key to make this reality with longevity, and a reality that continues and becomes a success for generations to come. So please, teach the children history. Do not let the history not be taught to the children. They deserve to know, because it starts with them. We're starting now, but they're the future. Teach the children that Africans were the fathers of civilizations. We need to reclaim Africa in generations to come. We need to reclaim Africa, as it's the only way we will ever heal as a people. I hope you enjoyed this video, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you on the next video. And thank you so much for watching. Bye, guys.